Hello, YouTube. I've got another 5-minute game going here against edmack0110. Looks like we're probably going to head into some sort of a Queen's Gambit. No, okay, so this is the. Wait. The Blackmar-Diemer Gambit? Is that right? I think. Is that right? I don't know. I'm just going to hold the pawn and try to make it tricky for him to get it back. Okay, so he's just going to make this like a true pawn sacrifice. Should I do that? I say I'm going to go for it. I got an extra pawn. His king might potentially be exposed. I'm just going to try to develop as quickly as possible. Try to get castled and consolidate here. Yeah, that looks like a good square. But yeah, definitely just going to try to get castled. Maybe e7 would have been better. Now I have this sort of annoying pen. Yeah, kind of wishing I'd have went to bishop e7, but maybe I can play knight bd7 now. And I also got to figure out how I'm going to get the knight out of the. How do I get this knight developed here? I'm kind of thinking about playing c5. If this pawn leaves d4, then the g1 a7 diagonal could become annoying for his king. Maybe undevelop the knight first, and then play maybe c6, and then thinking about, okay, so what's the happening here? I don't really want to take it, because that's going to put a pawn on e5, which I obviously am not prepared to handle at this time. Though, oh, never mind. Never mind. Let's go with the immediate c5 plan. Oh wait, this is a terrible move. Because now my pawn structure gets destroyed. Yeah, not much to do about that. At least he doesn't have any checks on the file. His queen sort of kept at bay. And we've traded quite a few pieces. I have the bishop pair. Let's take there. He can't take it back because of the pen. Yeah, he overlooks that. And looks like I'm going to win quite a bit of material off of that. This should be a fairly easy win at this time, because that's going to drop a whole rook. Oh, and he just resigns. So that was a quick win. After I had kind of blown it, I think, or at least was not looking very happy. So let's jump over to analysis mode and see what we got. Okay. Flip the board. And yeah, I think this is the Blackmar-Diemer. I only really know this because I just watched a live game on YouTube from my coach where he faced this, but from a different move order, I think. He tried to play a Scandinavian, so which was this, and then it transposed to the Blackmar-Diemer. So same thing, just different move order. But instead I got this way. Again, I'm sort of a little bit treating it like it's a reverse Budapest, which is kind of what it is, I guess. So I'm just going to I decided to take the extra pawn, and he's got a lot of development. He's got both knights out, both bishops are ready to go, whereas I've only developed one minor piece, and I can't possibly develop this one. So, so I'm just going to develop as quickly as possible. I think this was probably an error. I think that this is probably the more reserved and solid move, because of I didn't like the pen that he got later. But instead we had here, castled, and this is when I started to think about whether I wanted to play c5 or not. It's possible that maybe I should just go back to e7 and just admit that I should never have put my bishop on d6. I think that was probably a mistake. But I decided to develop the knight, and my idea was that I was going to play, let's say he does something sort of routine. I was thinking I might play like this, and let's just make a random move for him, and come out with the queen on b6, where I was going to be hitting the b pawn and maybe get some additional pressure on d4 to support a d5 push. But alas, that ended up happening. He blundered instead. So, oops, not the way that went. He played knight e5, which is probably a good move. Now I really need to consider going back to e7 with the bishop for the problem that I just had exactly. So I probably should have played this, and now this is really no big deal. In fact, we've just exchanged some more pieces, and I'm perfectly content. Instead, I played c5, which is awful, because I drop. So after he takes on d7, I have to take back with the queen, obviously. I thought for like a split second on a move like this, but that clearly doesn't work because this is check. Or actually, yeah, because, yeah, that's check. I take, and then what happens here? Looks like I'm going to get my piece back. Maybe this isn't much worse, or much different than the game. Different move order, maybe. Maybe this was possible. I suppose he just takes, and I take back, and then he has to move his knight. So, like, maybe here works. And what's the count here? So 2 pawns to his 2 pawns. I have 4 to his 3. So I'm still a pawn up here. I have the bishop pair, but my king's pretty exposed, and he's got threats like g4. So unclear. And I've got to move the bishop here. I suppose I can play this. And the point is if g4, then I have that nasty check, which would pick up his queen. So that's probably this is tricky. I don't know if I like that better or not than what happened. Instead, I played queen takes d7, and he took, of course, and I captured on f6, and then he just blunders. So I actually am 2 pawns up now after this. So maybe this wasn't so bad because he failed to recognize that he can't capture it back. He needs to play a move like so. And I can't defend the pawn this way because takes, and then the bishop hangs. So instead, yeah, after here, I don't see if I can hold the pawn. I guess maybe I can play like this, and I have that same nasty threat on the d3 square. Now this is tricky though. I mean, it's my king's kind of exposed, but his is a little bit as well. The position is starting to open up, and I have the bishop pair, so I feel like that this is unclear. Black probably should be better. I have more central pawns. My king is less safe, but I can just hang on. I mean, I can put the bishop back to g6. His pieces aren't really his minor pieces are not on the right side of the board to expose my king. So I think maybe I'm okay. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.